Hello, MUS 2020 students. If you're importing MIDI into MuseScore that you've exported from another program, like Ableton Live, it's really easy. Instead of clicking on the New Score option, we're going to go to Open Other. Navigate to the MIDI file, select it, and hit Open. This will import all of the MIDI directly into MuseScore. However, there may be some problems. For example, it's doubled the name of every instrument here. I have violin, 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 and violoncello, violoncello. Fortunately, this is easy enough to fix. I can go to Instruments, click on the little gear icon next to every one, and rename. That fixes violin 1, 2, and a comma, and the cello. That looks better. Now, beware that MIDI will only be the notes and durations. It's captured a couple of articulations. I can see some staccatos on here, but I know that there are quite a few others that are missing here. It has also not captured any of my dynamic indicators. So there's no velocity that's been converted into, say, a forte or a mezzo piano or a decrescendo. So that's something to be aware of. At this point, if I want to make any edits to the instruments, I can hit the letter I on my keyboard to bring up the instruments that are in the score. I could add an instrument, or I could delete one by selecting it and hitting delete. If I want to, I can also select any of the notes that are in here, or arrange, and then copy them with Control-C on PC or Command-C on Mac, and then paste them into another MuseScore file with Control-V or Command-V. Very, very cool and very useful. After I'm done making any edits, I do want to save with Control-S or Command-S. And then I can save it as a MuseScore file. If you have a completed MuseScore piece that you want to import into Ableton Live, it's quite easy. What I would do is make sure that I am in the arrangement view. Then I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to grab the MIDI file, bring it into Ableton, and then I'm going to drop it into there. It's going to ask if I want to import tempo and time signature data. I'm going to tell it yes, because that will give me all of that information. And now I can see that I've got all of the MIDI in Ableton. So in fact, it's imported everything across multiple tracks. This track, however, has some extra space at the end that did not get put in there. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to go to consolidate to make sure that everything is exactly the same length for the purposes of looping or otherwise moving entire sections in Ableton Live. At that point, I can start assigning instruments to it, just as if it were any other MIDI clip within Ableton Live.